You're seeing here a United States Code annotated. This is for titles 1 and 2. And you can see there's a lot of small type on the page, and pages with large and small type. The large type is the actual law in effect at this time, passed by Congress. The smaller type is notes, such as reports on versions of the law that have been superseded by the law currently in effect. You can get a sense from these pages of just what proportion there is of large type to small type. This volume we looked at of Titles 1 and 2 didn't have all of Title 2. That spills over into additional volumes, plural. The remainder of this shelf has Titles 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Title 5 has lots of volumes. This next shelf finishes Title 7, then goes on to Titles 8, 9, and 10. Title 9 is in 1 book. Title 10 is in 8 books, and that doesn't even finish Title 10. Title 10 finishes here in 7 books. Title 10 is Armed Forces, and then we have Title 11, Bankruptcy. Titles 13 and 14 share 1 book. Title 12 is in 8 books. Title 15 starts with 17 books. Title 15 then finishes in 9 books. Title 17 requires just 2 books. Title 18 had been the last book of the last shelf. Now it starts up this one and keeps going all the way to the end of the shelf. Title 18, Crimes and Criminal Procedure. Title 18 finally finishes in 5 books at the beginning here. Title 21 is in 6 books, that's Food and Drugs, next to Title 20, Education. On this shelf, Title 23, Highways, Title 24, Hospitals and Asylums, and Title 26, just the first 13 volumes. Title 26 then finishes in 16 volumes. Title 26, the Internal Revenue Code. And if you're an American or know Americans, you probably have heard Americans complain about how easy it is to get snagged by unknown rules in the Internal Revenue Code. Title 28 began on the previous shelf, then covers this entire shelf, and still it requires 16 books on the following shelf. Title 28 is Judiciary and Judicial Procedure. What little room there is here for Title 29 allows for just 6 books. Title 29 is Labor, and it will spill over into the next 12 volumes when it gets to the next shelf. The shelf is rounded out by Title 30, Mineral Lands and Mining, Title 32, National Guard, Title 33, Navigation and Navigable Waters, among others, through 35. The next shelf finishes 35 and starts 42, and in between we have such things as 38, Veterans Benefits, 39, Postal Service, 41, Public Contracts. Title 42 is yet another one of those titles where a whole shelf isn't enough. Title 42 had finished off the last shelf. It's this whole shelf, and it's the first 18 books on the following shelf. Title 42 is the Public Health and Welfare. Title 44 is in 1 volume. Title 43 is in 3 books. That's Public Lands. Title 45, Railroads, splits between shelves. Here Title 47 is in 2 volumes. Title 49 is Transportation. Title 50, War and National Defense. Title 50 are last. There are 50 titles, and we've seen them all. Ready for a graphic contrast? This volume is the entire United States Code in effect in 1925. The table of titles runs for 4 pages. We'll see the first, second, third, and fourth pages. The bottom of the 4th page, see Title 50, War. As we go from page to page, we go from title to title. At the top of each page, it indicates the title. Even if the quality here isn't good enough for you to actually read the titles, you can see that the titles become longer and shorter, where the titles change from one to the next. The size of the print on these pages never changes because the legislation is not intermixed with annotation. The Code of Federal Regulations wasn't first published until 1938, and then as now its titles are numbered 1 through 50, but they're not the same 1 through 50 as the United States Code. This blue separator indicates where the volume has reached the end of the United States Code itself. We go back, you'll notice Title 50, War, just as it was in the current version of the United States Code annotated. Flipping a relatively few number of pages brings us to the last page of Title 50. No question, this is a thick volume, but it's a single volume nonetheless. We have some tables here in what is clearly an appendix. The pink separator is near the back of the book. What's behind it is the index. The book is thick, and yet it is all of the United States Code in effect in the year 1925. The United States Code is what is in effect as law among all the legislation passed by the United States Congress after it has been codified, put into the appropriate order, and culled of legislation that has been superseded or repealed. To get an understanding of just how much legislation has been passed piecemeal, some of it still in effect, much of it repealed, take a look at a separate video in this series on statutes at large. To get an understanding of regulations that have the effect of law even though they were not passed by the United States Congress, see a different video in this series on the Code of Federal Regulations.